Our views on infrastructure and investment in infrastructure often depend on what we see in our neighborhood or what we see on our way to work. You're talking to a voter on the campaign trail who sees no need for infrastructure investment in their own community. What would you tell him, and what do you believe infrastructure investments benefit the whole country?
That's a great question, especially for the Ninth District, because we have urban areas like Gainesville, and we have incredibly rural areas like Madison County, Rabun County, Fannin County. So a lot of people in the Ninth District are very well aware of the infrastructure needs in some of these more rural areas. One of those needs is broadband internet. There are many places in our country, like in Tennessee, where they have really funded the initiative to have broadband, fast, efficient internet everywhere. We lose a lot of business in Northeast Georgia every year because many businesses don't have internet. Their internet goes down. We've had a lot of problems with Windstream. I think that we actually need to fund a broadband project across America, including in the rural areas. In today's world, access to fast, reliable internet is not simply a luxury. This is how people get jobs. This is how people have commerce and sell their merchandise. So we really need to invest boldly in broadband internet as part of the infrastructure program. We also need to link the environment with infrastructure spending. So I think we need more workers working in our national parks, studying our fresh water to make sure it's clean, studying the populations of reptiles and mammals to make sure that these delicate ecosystems remain in place. Once we destroy an ecosystem, it will never come back. And that's infrastructure. The living world around us should be part of our infrastructure that we invest in. So a lot of people around this area really love our wildlife, our natural views in the Ninth District. And so I think that infrastructure must focus both on environmental concerns, on internet, and also on social concerns. I think part of infrastructure is building more libraries. You know, since the internet has come out, a lot of people think that libraries might not be as much in use, but studies show that libraries are more in use now. And so I think that we need to build more libraries, more gyms, more area recreation centers, pools, places for young people to exercise and to have fun. The other alternative is to do what we've been doing and build more prisons and build more bombs. I think that we need to move our investment away from places like Afghanistan, which is not transparent. We are pouring money into the sands of the Middle East. It's disappearing into the deep pockets of the military-industrial complex. I think that we need to invest in our neighbors right here at home. That's what infrastructure would look like.
While in Congress, would you support a bill that provides free college tuition paid for by American taxpayers, or instead support a bill that provides scholarships funded by the federal government, similar to Georgia's Hope Scholarship?
So the solution to education is going to be complex because we have payment that we have to deal with both at the federal and the state level. But I do think that education is one of the fundamental modern necessities, and therefore it is also a fundamental human right. You cannot get by in this world without some kind of technical education, or possibly a 4-year education or professional education. That means that to equip the future, to build the economy of the future, we've got to invest more in education. Many people seem to think that we can cut education, and as long as it's cheap, it must be good. But we have actually a really stark choice to make. We can either pay for more education, or we can pay for more prisons. Many states actually fund their prisons and predict their prison sizes based on reading levels and reading scores that they collect from children in the 4th grade. It's a similar issue when we get to secondary education. Many people who are out of the labor market right now, who are underemployed or unemployed, are that way because they don't have the skills necessary to get a job in this market. The investment that we make in education will pay off in the future. The GI Bill was a great success in the 40s and 50s when we made sure that the brave men who came home from fighting in World War II, when they had a scholarship paid for by the government, we had a really wonderful economy. I think we need to have a service-based scholarship for every single American citizen. They could work teaching in preschools or in daycares in inner cities. They could work in our national parks and our national forests. They could serve our country here at home, and they could earn a domestic service scholarship year for year. And while they are working, they will get a living wage and health care. And after they finish their service, 2 years for a technical school education and 4 years for a bachelor's degree, they could also earn a scholarship to school. I don't believe in a completely free ride to college because I believe that would be too expensive and it would be wasteful. But I do believe in young people graduating from high school getting a chance to go across the country into an area of social need. We have a lot of social needs in this country. We don't live in a bank account, we don't live in a think tank, we live in a society. And there are a lot of places in our society, in America, that need a lot of help. And young people with the energy and the innovation, I think that's the solution. And that would be a great opportunity for young people to learn what they actually want to do with their lives. And I think that they would end up changing their major a little less if they were to get experience in the actual field they want to work in.